Hello everyone, how are you? Right, so yeah, still pretty cold here, but I've got something that should warm you up a bit. I've got some arpeggio studies that are going to be based on Bach Prelude No. 1 from the Well-Tempered Clavier. Better known as 48 Preludes and Fugues, but one. It's a very famous piano piece. This. Practically everybody who's played the piano at some point will have encountered this. You've probably heard it. They use it on a lot of things. It's a really popular piece. It's also been arranged. Like somebody put lyrics to it. Sort of called it Ave Maria. But it's basically like Prelude No. 1. I mean, if you can get hold of a copy of this, it would be really useful, because what I think, what I'm coming round to more, as I'm getting more experience with playing, rather than just like bashing through scales and exercises, if you actually go through music which has this, use that big word, didactic quality to it, so that what you're actually playing and if you're actually playing and learning a piece, you're actually developing your technique through learning and refining that piece. And Bach was a master of this sort of thing. I forget where it's actually written. I mean, in this edition there's this really big long essay about like interpretation and about how like the Romantic pianist sort of ruined Bach and and what Bach intended for it. But you can read that. I mean, that's you might get something out of that. But it's more sort of just going back to like the actual score and finding these patterns which we can adapt. They give you a little bit more control than a lot of guitar exercises will. I'll show you why in a minute. But I'm noticing a lot. Like a lot of the internet guitarists, they're doing these tap arpeggios, and it's all about, I'm going really fast here, and I can do like 3 octaves in like a split second. And well, so what? Where's the beauty in that? So what this will teach you is how to gain a little bit more control, how to mix sort of different picking styles. To also improve your pick control. You're certainly controlling the speed as well, the actual dynamics, the phrasing, etc., etc. So I'm using this guitar today, just because I find this, like for this style of music, I find I find this style is probably I find it more suited. But it's it's down to you what you like and what you've actually got. So what I'm doing, I'm rolling the volume down, overdriving slightly. I'm not going for masses of gain. Just right now, as it's written. So where are we about here? Let's see on about not even like halfway, about 4. Just so it's got like a bit of a crunchy tone to it. There's a bit of dynamics, so that like you can go from soft to sort of more aggressive if you wanted to. But the way that Bach has actually written that first arpeggio in C, because it starts in the bass clef and then it goes up to the treble clef, but it's kind of. Well, I use the pick rather than my finger. Now the beauty of that is that I can slow it down. And if I'm having trouble, then I can window in on, well, why am I having trouble? And then it's doing And as it's written, it's doing something quite clever. Instead of, let's see, going to the D. So you can do that. This is what it's all about. It's finding the fingerings, it's finding the it's finding what works. I mean, because I've got quite long fingers. So if we get to there, we're going to either play. Now I always find I have more control if I'm playing a phrase over two strings, because then I know that, like, if I miss pick, it's not going to be that bad because I've got the other string in the way and I can mute the rest of it. Whereas if I'm doing that, I've either got to move my finger up or bar that, and it gets a bit fiddly. In fact, that word's fiddly, meaning if you're deriving from fiddle, I suppose, where, like, you know, these violins get all contorted and whatever because they haven't mastered all the positions or whatever it is. Anyway, but that's kind of how it's written. If you're like a Richie Blackmore fan, and I used to be quite a big Richie Blackmore fan, but at the start of, like, on the live on stage, they Catch the Rainbow. It's just using the cowboy chord. Now you can do that if you want to, but I think this is more about, like, gaining control of the actual arpeggio. So what I'm doing is just, like, I'm transposing it. I'm going to play it an octave above. So I'm playing it a C above middle C, and I'm playing it here. And then we go for that to the diminished one. That's the A minor. Yeah, and then just improvise with just these different chords. You know, not having to play it strictly as Bach has written it. That's one of the beauties about his music as well, is you can just take perhaps a bar or a few phrases from it and just play around with it, because that's kind of what he was doing as well. He was just saying, well, right, I'm going to start you off. This is pretty much how it this is pretty much what I've got, but you can do this with it, you can do this with it, and you get more and more elaborate, and and as you get more advanced as a player, then he's giving you that freedom, to say, well, right, well, now you've found your way around this lot, try this, and then, right, well, now you've found your way around that, then try this one as well, and it's just the actual beauty of learning, So, but I found that, like, if you put like almost like a hall reverb on, and then play that. Yeah. Now remember to palm mute as well. There we go. You see how we can, like that, you got those sort of changes, like between like going, it goes like pure minor to diminished. So you can make up little etudes with it, or you can, like, if you're not that familiar with the shapes, you can just like, I'll just turn the reverb off for a moment. You can just take any of the bar chord shapes and then turn those into an arpeggio, and then once you've got that arpeggio, then apply that Bach pattern to it, and then then work with the pick. And then just practice, maybe just on one chord until you actually nailed it. You've just got it down. You're not making too many fluffs. I mean, I'm making a few fluffs here because I'm glossing over it. I'm rushing it slightly, just to give you the gist of the idea. Like I've said many times on these little tutorials, it's not about perfection. It's about learning stuff, having fun, and realizing where you're going wrong. And it's so, and you can't get better until you actually realise where you have been going wrong. None of us are born perfect. Even Bach himself, he didn't just come out of the womb saying, right, well, where's my keyboard then? It wasn't quite like that. Even though he was a genius, it took him years to actually get to where he'd got to, and then of course where he had got to, then pretty much nobody could touch him for like for a very long time, shall we say. So, and he left this massive legacy of music just because he'd immersed himself in these musical spaces. And then this is what it's about as well. It's like trying to understand more about these little musical spaces, and where these modulations want to go to. And then of course, once you've actually got like the basic patterns down, then you can start bringing in, like something like the extensions and the inversions, and all right, maybe I'm getting a little bit more advanced, but anyway, I'm getting slightly ahead of myself. So like I was saying, so like a standard G chord like that. Or A minor, and then the B minor flat 5. Now, as you could hear then, there was like the string, so I'm not palm muting enough on that. Yeah, and then like these, the A shapes. Yeah. That's a bit more tricky, that one. Yeah, so pretty much any arpeggio shape, you can actually just explore those patterns with it, and yeah. So I just wanted to throw that at you, just just give you a bit of inspiration. I might do some more Bach stuff, because I mean, you know, I've got to admit that my technique it seems to have gone down a bit lately. It's probably because I've not been doing as much practice as I used to do when I was younger and whatnot. But you know, if I can just give you something which sort of nudges you in a slightly different direction, and maybe, you know, like, you know, it's not all about, you know, like the big fast tapping licks and whatnot. I mean, like, if that will get you through like a Bach Prelude, then maybe. But you know, I mean, what I'm trying to show, you know, it's a bit more about, you know, actually getting a bit more control, a bit more dynamics, windowing in on like where the fluffs are coming in, what you can actually do to improve, you know, to get rid of some of those fluffs. I mean, you may not get rid of them entirely, because none of us are perfect. But anyway, I'm going on a bit now. So thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.